Celebrities aren't helping, and why would they? In a country where the big issue now is affordability, outside of, I don't know, Springsteen and a few others, celebrities don't strike people as relatable or in touch. And what their activism mostly activates is eye rolls. Because stars, they're not just like us. They're just not. They fly private. They have 5 houses all over the world. They give their kids ridiculous names.
The Hollywood awards circuit has officially arrived, and as per usual, genuine artistry is being trampled by blatant political posturing. These galas have become agonizingly dull because, rather than spotlighting elite talent, A-listers now utilize the podium to deliver endless, cringe-worthy partisan sermons. I thought I was alone in my exhaustion over these recycled, woke cliches until Bill Maher stepped into the ring with a series of cutting, satirical, and genuinely hilarious critiques. Trust me, I've archived every single viral moment. If you're fed up with Tinseltown elites prioritizing grandstanding over actual filmmaking, hit that subscribe button, buckle up, and let's dive in, because this media circus is getting noisier and more vacuous by the day.
Congratulations for raising awareness. The awareness you really care about, which is how wonderful you are. Ricky Gervais once told the award show crowd, "Don't use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world." And of course, this is where celebrities say, "How dare you? We're citizens with just as much right to speak out." Agreed, you absolutely do. I'm just saying, don't.
Maher contends, and I'm inclined to agree, that a vast majority of celebrities are completely divorced from the struggles of the common man. Their immense fortunes act as a literal shield, insulating them from the daily grind that defines the American experience. Economic downturns, skyrocketing inflation, and even global instability rarely penetrate their hyper-luxurious bubbles. While the average citizen is losing sleep over rent hikes, grocery bills, and career longevity, these icons can simply board a private jet and flee to any corner of the globe, treating national hardships like minor travel delays. Maher isn't suggesting they lose their right to an opinion. That's a straw man argument. He's highlighting something much more fundamental. Their perspective is untethered from reality. When a multimillionaire who has never known true adversity lectures the masses on how society should run, it comes off as hollow at best and deeply insulting at worst. Sometimes, silence is the ultimate display of intelligence, and Maher is more than happy to call out those who lack it.
It's having the opposite effect of what you want. Every big name in show business came out for Kamala Harris, from Oprah to Clooney to Beyonce, and she lost every swing state. A survey of Ohio voters found Taylor Swift's endorsement actually had a negative impact, with 24% saying it made them less enthusiastic about her as a candidate.
Come on.
Read the room, Democrats.
There's no denying that Americans are fascinated by stardom, but that doesn't mean they've abandoned their critical thinking skills. Most people are acutely aware that these celebrities reside in a parallel dimension, thousands of miles away from the grueling schedules of working-class families. They recognize that many stars possess zero practical understanding of the systemic issues that truly hurt the average American's wallet. This massive disconnect creates a wall of skepticism. Regardless of how much passion is poured into a red carpet speech, many viewers are convinced these political endorsements are just another line item in a business deal, trading moral stances for brand deals or career security. The polished monologues and claims of ethical superiority simply don't have the impact they once did. Sure, the public will still watch the blockbusters and stream the hits, but when the conversation turns to politics, the magic fades. They can see right through the glitter, the rehearsed applause, and the massive bank accounts powering those dramatic public declarations.
You know, when movie lovers get together these days, one phrase that comes up a lot and always makes me sad is, "Yeah, you couldn't make that one today." Top of that list is the great Tropic Thunder. which the scolds have been after for years. But in February, Ben Stiller tweeted, "I make no apologies for Tropic Thunder. It's always been a controversial movie since when we opened, proud of it and the work everyone did on it." See, people, it's not that hard.
Another reason Maher is taking a sledgehammer to modern award ceremonies is the suffocating level of political correctness they've embraced. In today's climate, a daring satire like Tropic Thunder wouldn't even be considered for an Oscar. Not because it lacks brilliance, but because it might trigger a sensitive demographic. Hollywood now treats creative discomfort as a moral crime rather than a vital storytelling tool. Cinema is an art form, and art was never intended to be safe. It's meant to challenge boundaries, poke at societal nerves, and highlight human folly through biting wit. Comedy, in particular, thrives on the edge of the inappropriate. It drags taboo subjects into the light and forces the audience to actually think. Maher's frustration stems from the fact that Hollywood no longer trusts its viewers to understand satire or nuance. Instead of backing courageous, unfiltered narratives, the industry plays it safe, handing out hardware to approved political themes. When the message dictates which stories get told, creativity dies, and we're left with nothing but stagnation disguised as social progress.
Trader Joe's, who for years have been selling a line of ethnically themed products, trading on the name Joe. For example, they have Trader Jose's beer. So, of course, one teenager on Twitter heard the word Jose and said it was racist, and then there was a petition, and then Trader Joe's management did the right thing. They burnt down all their stores and killed themselves. No, they didn't. They said, "F off, you oversensitive little shits."
Interestingly, Maher isn't a lone wolf barking at the moon regarding Hollywood's woke obsession. A handful of high-profile insiders have begun turning the mirror back on their own peers. One of the most prominent examples is J.K. Rowling. She has never been one to bite her tongue for the sake of optics, even when her words spark massive industry boycotts and coordinated smear campaigns. Rowling took a direct stand against what she perceived as a rigid, ideological echo chamber within modern media culture. The fallout was swift and aggressive. Studios distanced themselves, social media mobs formed, and her reputation was attacked relentlessly. Yet, despite the overwhelming pressure to conform, she refused to back down or offer a PR-approved apology just to appease the gatekeepers. This is precisely where Maher's argument gains its teeth. When an ideology becomes a religion, dissent is treated like blasphemy. Rowling's experience proved just how quickly Hollywood will excommunicate its own for deviating from the script. Whether you agree with her or not, her refusal to retreat highlighted the industry's terrifying intolerance for independent thought.
Celebrities aren't helping, and why would they? In a country where the big issue now is affordability, outside of, I don't know, Springsteen and a few others, celebrities don't strike people as relatable or in touch. And what their activism mostly activates is eye rolls. Because stars, they're not just like us. They're just not. They fly private. They have 5 houses all over the world. They give their kids ridiculous names.
Maher takes the argument further by explaining why celebrities have lost their common man appeal entirely. Their entire lifestyle is an exaggerated, high-definition fantasy that bears no resemblance to the typical American life. While families are working overtime to afford a secure, modest home, stars are buying literal fortresses with high-security gates. While most people save up for months just to visit relatives for the holidays, celebrities treat private aviation like a casual Uber ride, transforming basic human moments into extravagant spectacles. This constant display of excess has created a cultural chasm the size of the Grand Canyon. Maher's point is blunt. If your daily life is defined by luxury, how can you possibly comprehend the crushing weight of living paycheck to paycheck? Celebrities don't live like us, they don't think like us, and they certainly don't bleed like us. So, when they take a platform to moralize about national policy, it feels fraudulent. Their wealth makes it impossible for them to be a credible voice for the working class.
Please, it's okay. You're stars. We like you for who you are. Insulated divas whose talent allows you to pig out on the finer things in life, because we all need something to aspire to. But being talented, which you are, isn't the same as knowing things or having the credibility to advise people on their politics. You rail against privilege, but you avail yourself of the greatest privilege of all, to remain clueless.
Maher is spot on. Being talented doesn't make you an expert. Having a gift for acting or directing doesn't provide an automatic doctorate in macroeconomics or public policy. Dominating the box office is one craft. Understanding the complexities of the real world is an entirely different beast. His goal isn't to silence these people, but to demand a shred of responsibility. If a celebrity feels the burning need to influence the political landscape, the very least they could do is study the subject. They should actually investigate both sides of an issue and grapple with the data before making a public decree. Instead, too many simply chase whatever hashtag is trending or whatever their social circle demands, arrogantly assuming they know what their audience thinks. It's not just intellectual laziness. It's a total lack of self-awareness. If you're going to sway millions of minds, you owe them more than a scripted talking point. Listen, learn, and admit that these problems are complicated. Approach the public with humility, not condescension. Talking down to people you don't understand isn't activism. It's narcissism wrapped in a designer suit.
Dave Chappelle lashed out at me last month because I called him out for saying there was more free speech in Saudi Arabia than here. Well, I was right. What he said was stupid. America has many problems, including free speech issues on both left and right, but we're real different than Saudi Arabia. If you don't believe me, try opening a lesbian art gallery there.
In this segment, Maher slams Dave Chappelle for the absurd claim that Saudi Arabia offers more freedom of speech than the United States, and he is 100% correct to call out that delusion. Anyone with a basic education knows that comparison is laughable. Saudi Arabia is a strict monarchy where vocal dissent isn't just a social faux pas, it's a death sentence. Journalists and activists who challenge the regime face imprisonment, physical abuse, or worse. Meanwhile, America, as fractured and messy as it can be, still safeguards free expression in a way that is the envy of the world. Maher isn't claiming the US is perfect. He's pointing out that comparing it to an authoritarian regime is intellectual dishonesty. In America, you can mock the president on live television and go home to sleep in your own bed. Do that in Saudi Arabia, and the consequences are terminal. Maher isn't defending the status quo. He's defending basic objective reality.
Ricky's right. Celebrities don't know about the real world. So Democrats, it's great you have all the big celebs, but people see them as an arm of the Democratic Party, which they already suspect for lacking common sense. I know. I know the celebrities mean well, and we thank them for having their heart in the right place, but just do you. Do what you do so well. Use your extraordinary talents for the noble cause of bringing relief from the problems that ribbons and pins can't fix. I know it's very important to you that you feel that you're making a difference, so let me assure you, you are. You're making independents vote Republican.
Maher makes a brilliant observation. Celebrities are actually sabotaging their own political goals. Instead of drawing voters toward the left, their loud, performative activism is driving millions of Americans straight into the arms of the Republican Party. These displays come across as arrogant, judgmental, and completely out of touch, triggering resentment rather than change. When a billionaire star lectures a struggling family about their privilege or their voting habits, it feels like a slap in the face. Maher's logic is simple. Politics isn't won on a red carpet. It's won in the living rooms of everyday people. Instead of building bridges, celebrity posturing is building walls and alienating the very swing voters they need. All that moral superiority doesn't inspire confidence. It creates a massive backlash. By trying to look righteous for their peers, these stars are infuriating the public, effectively acting as the best recruitment tool the opposition has ever had.
Comedians. have been under attack for quite some time, and I need to stick up for my tribe. This war on jokes must end. Will Smith didn't get kicked out of the Oscars for going Ike Turner on Chris, but Kevin Hart got kicked out of hosting it for a joke. Who are these people who say cancel culture isn't a real thing? Just among comedians who've gotten fired and lost gigs for exercising their freedom of expression, the toll is high. Gilbert Gottfried and Kathy Griffin were tasteless. So what? That's why we like them.
Ultimately, Maher cuts through the fluff to reveal a harsh truth. Hollywood has completely severed its connection with the public. Awards shows that should be a celebration of human creativity have morphed into partisan lectures delivered by people living in ivory towers. Their wealth, their isolation, and their hollow virtue signaling don't persuade anyone. They only divide. Instead of bringing us together, this constant moralizing pushes audiences away and deepens the national rift. Maher isn't calling for a gag order. He's calling for a reality check and a return to great storytelling over forced ideology. When celebrities stop listening and start lecturing, the world stops watching. If the film industry wants to regain its cultural relevance, it needs fewer teleprompter speeches and more courage to tell authentic, unfiltered stories. Until that shift happens, the wall between celebrity culture and the real world will only get higher. And that wraps up our look at the state of the industry. If you're tired of the elite bubble, hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on the truth Hollywood won't tell you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.